10 things we miss most about old cars. Pop-up headlights. Pop-up headlights are awesome not only because they look cool but because they're so satisfying to operate. Unfortunately, they'd never make production in a modern car because of pedestrian safety, aerodynamics and wind noise.
Up, down, up, down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
Thin A-pillars. Remember when you didn't have to shift about like a madman to see through corners? That was because old cars came with this thing called visibility thanks to skinny A-pillars. Nowadays, fat A-pillars often make driving difficult and frustrating. Again, blame safety. Manual gearboxes. The older the car, the more likely it is to have a manual gearbox. And you already know why manuals are better. They're more involving and enjoyable to use and act as a great deterrent for car thieves in America. Simple interiors. Step inside any new car and you'll be greeted by bonging noises and a view of at least 30 buttons. And don't get me started on those stupid electronic parking brakes and the fact that you have to press the clutch while turning the ignition key. That's why we miss old cars. All you have to do in one of those is jump in, close the door, crank the heater up to demist the window and twist the key, or screwdriver. Speaking of keys, what the hell happened to those? Keys nowadays are all shapes and sizes and usually don't resemble a key at all. Some are stubby little rectangles that you insert into an ATM slot in the dash, while others look like the car equivalent of a testicle. What the f*** is that about? T-tops. The T-top roof was brilliant. Okay, so it would leak on some models, but if it didn't on yours, then you had two cars, a convertible and a hardtop, in one. T-top cars also looked the nuts. Being able to fix your own car. Being able to see, let alone fix a modern engine requires expensive diagnostics equipment and a laptop. Not so with older cars that were relatively simple to work on and also enjoyable to spend time fixing up. A Haynes manual and a good spanner set would see you right and could save you expensive garage bills. Weight reduction. Lightweight cars have always been more fun to throw around. Sure, they won't look after you when you crash, but you simply can't beat it for enjoyment. As a comparison, a 25-year-old Fiesta XR2 weighs 839 kilograms compared with a modern car's 1,163 kilogram weight figure. Sexy steering wheels. It seems that new cars always try to reinvent the steering wheel. Some are fat, some are flat-bottomed, and most will do more than just directing the front wheels. Old cars kept it simple with a round and often attractive steering wheel design. Bliss. A full-size spare wheel. If you've ever suffered a puncture, I'm willing to bet that you change your own wheel pretty quickly. If you did this in a modern car, then you probably used a pathetic space saver. Worse still, you might have emptied a can of tyre weld into it. Older cars don't suffer with either of these problems because space savers and tyre weld wasn't even invented back then. Bonus point. What I really miss most about old cars though is rust. Why do I miss rust? Mainly because it's lighter than carbon fibre, meaning it acts like natural weight reduction. Oh yeah, and rust is also really tasty.
I like your car.
Do you like my helmet?
I love it.
Yeah? Would you date a guy like me in a car like this?
Maybe.
Gonna go for the overtake. Come on, Lily. We got this.